Start across much of northern England. After a sunny morning, things will turn cloudier here later. It's a similar story across much of Wales, so a chilly but sunny start for many here, the exception being towards the coast where the odd showers possible with more cloud. A dry and clear start across the Midlands. Here it'll be chilly at first, though probably not cold enough for any frost, warming up in the sunshine as we head through the morning. Some showers are likely across northern parts of Norfolk and perhaps coastal Suffolk too. Further inland, it'll be chilly but sunny for most, so it'll turn warmer. Meanwhile, across much of the south of England, there'll be clear skies, meaning temperatures will be quite low at first, but once the sun comes up, they'll rise fairly quickly. Cloud, rain and strong winds will push into the north through the morning, whilst elsewhere it'll stay sunny for most. And that's how the weather's shaping up during tomorrow morning.
We are GB News.
And we'd like to say thank you
to each and every one of you
for helping our great nation
find its voice.
We're absolutely everywhere.
Across England, Scotland,
Wales and Northern Ireland.
On TV,
on radio and online.
We're proud to be
the People's Channel, Britain's
news channel.
On the Mark Steyn Show, we cover the stories a lot of people are scared even to mention. The stuff that really matters with some of the world's biggest thinkers.
Now is his opportunity to kind of take the steering wheel of history.
Break away from the flock at 8 o'clock on GB News with the Mark Steyn Show.
Hello, I'm Esther McVeigh.
And I'm Philip Davis.
Whether you're watching or listening on TV, online or on radio, we handpick the latest stories, debates and expert opinions for your weekend. So whether that's politics, news or showbiz, we've got it covered.
Join us every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock on GB News.
Join my show Farage, 7 p.m. till 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday. And there you will get opinion, analysis, debate, and I'll cover stories that nobody else dares to touch. You've been cancelled. Join the club.
Oh, my goodness me.
And then for the last 15 minutes, talking pints. We're over a drink. We have a civilised conversation with someone. We very often disagree, but we do it in a grown-up way. Come and join me on Farage.
Hi there, it's Stephen and Anne.
At breakfast from 6 a.m, you'll always be caught up with everything you need to know, the latest headlines, opinions and debates.
We'll bring you the good news and the bad, but most of all, we're here for you.
Remember, send in your views and let us know what you would like us to talk about.
That's because we're your news channel. And every morning at 6 a.m, it's breakfast on GB News.
I'm Rhiannon Jones with your top stories from the GB Newsroom. The Labour leader's accusing the Chancellor of gambling the mortgages and finances of the British people with what he calls casino economics. Sir Keir Starmer's echoed claims from the Institute of Fiscal Studies, saying Kwasi Kwarteng's mini-budget puts government debt on an unsustainable rising path, something Mr Kwarteng denies. Sir Keir says the government's fiscal plans won't work.
And after 12 long years of Tory failure, didn't they just show their true colours yesterday? Their driving ideology, make the rich richer and do nothing for working people. Well, this conference is our chance to set out the alternative, to make our case, an economy that works for working people, growth for everyone, everywhere, wherever they are, a fairer, greener future.
Well, Chris Philp, Chief Secretary to the Treasury, told us the whole country will benefit.
I think the real gamble would be maintaining levels of tax that are inappropriately high, which risk deterring investment, which risk disincentivising hard work, and which risk driving individuals and companies out of the United Kingdom. By having competitive tax rates, we're encouraging people to work, encouraging them to invest, and encouraging people and businesses to locate here in the UK.
The Labour Party has pledged to create a national care service. It claims 13% of care homes need improvement. The party says private equity firms are failing in their duties to residents. Plans for the service include improvements in pay, workers' rights and training. Arriving in Liverpool this afternoon, Sir Keir is expected to set out a number of key policies at the party's conference, which starts tomorrow. Drivers could be paying an extra £5 for a tank of petrol due to a fall in the value of the pound. Motoring organisation the AA says petrol prices would be at least 9 pence per litre cheaper if the pound had maintained its mid-February value instead of dropping to a 37-year low. Drivers are being encouraged to shop around to find more competitive forecourts. Ukraine's president is urging his fellow countrymen who are being forced to fight for the Russian army to sabotage it from within. Volodymyr Zelensky says people in parts of Ukraine that are being controlled by Moscow should resist any efforts to mobilise them to fight. If they do get conscripted, he's calling for them to do everything they can to help their homeland. Meanwhile, in Russia, more than 700 people have been arrested at protests across the country. The arrests come after President Putin ordered the country's first military draft since World War II for the conflict in Ukraine. Footage from one protest shows Russian officers manhandling men and leading women to police vans. According to one rights monitoring group, there were protests in 32 cities from St. Petersburg to Siberia. We're getting our first look tonight at Queen Elizabeth II's final resting place in Windsor. The picture of the Black Ledger Stone has been released by Buckingham Palace. It's been set into the floor of the George VI Memorial Chapel, where the monarch was buried on Monday. The new stone's engraved in gold in memory of the Queen, her parents and her husband, the Duke of Edinburgh. It'll open to the public from next Thursday. And King Charles has been photographed with his red box for the first time. The picture, taken last week, shows the King carrying out official government duties at Buckingham Palace. Red boxes hold papers from government ministers in the Ukraine and the Commonwealth. Adventurer Ross Edgley has broken the record for the longest ever open water swim in Loch Ness. Edgley swam continuously for exactly 52 hours and 39 minutes, covering around 49 miles. He also endured temperatures as low as 5 degrees and said it was one of the biggest challenges of his career. And Roger Federer has bid farewell to professional tennis, bowing out with an emotional doubles defeat at the O2 Arena in London. The 20-time Grand Slam champion teamed up with old rival and friend Rafael Nadal for the Laver Cup match, but lost to an American pair. The Swiss player announced his plans to retire from the sport last week. And very sad it is too. TV, online and DAB Plus radio. This is GB News. We'll have more at the top of the next hour. Looking ahead to tomorrow's weather, and the UK's looking chilly but sunny at first, turning cloudier and windier in the far north. Let's take a look at the details. Starting off across Scotland, and by 7 a.m. the cloud will have started to spill in from the north and winds will strengthen too before a spell of rain arrives later. Whilst it'll be mostly fine across much of Northern Ireland tomorrow morning, there'll be a little showery rain perhaps before turning wetter as we head through the afternoon. Clear skies overnight mean it'll be a chilly start across much of northern England. After a sunny morning, things will turn cloudier here later. It's a similar story across much of Wales, so a chilly but sunny start for many here, the exception being towards the coast where the odd shower's possible with more cloud. A dry and clear start across the Midlands. Here it'll be chilly at first, though probably not cold enough for any frost, warming up in the sunshine as we head through the morning. Some showers are likely across northern parts of Norfolk and perhaps coastal Suffolk too. Further inland it'll be chilly but sunny for most, so it'll turn warmer. Meanwhile, across much of the south of England, there'll be clear skies, meaning temperatures will be quite low at first, but once the sun comes up, they'll rise fairly quickly. Cloud, rain and strong winds will push into the north through the morning, whilst elsewhere it'll stay sunny for most. And that's how the weather's shaping up during tomorrow morning.
Welcome to Ministry of Offence, the show that brings the two sides of the political divide together in order to confirm that, yes, the other side really are terrible, terrible people. I'm your host, Stephen Allen, and I'm going to start with a quick recap of the news you might have missed this week. The UK has experienced a heat wave this week. Please watch out for those dangers on the beach, sunstroke, jellyfish, and the resurgence of the male thong. I always wear factor 50 after a distressing experience a few summers ago when I picked up a tan so quickly that coming back from the beach I was stopped and searched twice. At one point, the heatwave even reached Scotland, giving them the highest temperature since records began. The Met Office confirmed Falkirk reached highs of 12 degrees. Rishi Sunak has been caught telling Tunbridge Wells he'd divert money their way that was originally intended for deprived inner cities. Fair's fair, we hear a lot about the homeless, but always forget the second homeless. Ayman al-Zawahiri, co-founder of Al-Qaeda, a man who stepped into Osama bin Laden's sandals, has been killed by a US drone strike this week. His remains are to be scattered. Sorry, his remains have already been scattered. All over the bedspread, to be precise. Al-Zawahiri was killed in a safe house, or as it's known now, a house. It was Royal Ascot this week. Charles won 2 of his bets. No such luck for Camilla, who fell at the 4th furlong in the 2:30. Boris was put under general anaesthetic this week for a sinus operation. It was a difficult procedure because those sinuses were deep inside Boris's anus and belonged to Jacob Rees-Mogg. Tony Blair has been made a member of the Order of the Garter. Andrew being banned and Blair being honoured sent out a powerful message. If you're going to teenagers, it better be the result of an airstrike. Protesters tried to block Blair's attendance, but Tony's made of sterner stuff. The only thing that would stop him from attending an event is someone trying to haggle down his appearance fee. DJ Tim Westwood has left his radio job after allegations of sexual harassment from numerous women. Tim has strenuously denied all allegations, stressing he has nothing but respect for both you bitches and you hoes. As well as his radio show, Tim has been cancelled from several live performances, including one at Butlins in Bognor Regis, fueling speculation that he may well have started the rumours himself. It's been a busy week for Just Stop Oil Group as 2 more of their protesters headed to the National Gallery and glued themselves to the hay wain and were immediately arrested. Of course they were. It was a constable. Had they glued themselves to a Chinese painting, they would have got Ai Weiwei with it. Doctors and other health workers may strike soon. Are they honestly telling us they've spent all of those claps already? President Macron says we shouldn't humiliate Vladimir Putin over the war in Ukraine and that he should be left with a viable exit strategy. And I agree. What about a jumbo bottle of vodka and a pistol? And that's your weekly roundup. Time to get on with the show. Each week, the teams pick a video that caught their eye. It could be political, or it could be just something that they find weird or amusing. I will decide which video is more point-worthy. So, Leo and Scott, what's happening here?
Есть на земле большая страна, прекрасна, отчизна и духом сильна, богатство природы, широкий край, Россия. Славься, родная моя, героев память храни на век, священные земли, победный май, Россия.
This is the start to the best porno I've ever seen.
I think that was nurses. I think is it the Cheeky Girls' new music video? Is it the Russian sort of version instead of Springtime for Hitler? It's in Germany. It's springtime for Putin in Moscow.
I think it's clearly a propaganda video made.
No, Russians just speak the truth.
I'm glad to see Shakespeare's sister is still getting gigs. I'm guessing that Pussy Riot weren't available.
We have got Nadine Dorries doing a rap on TikTok.
Let's take a look.
This is how we're improving online safety. The UK is passing some new legislation to make the internet safer for the younger generation. It's effectively a framework to protect internet users from scams, illegal content and anonymous abusers. It will force big tech to stop their terms being breached and puts in measures to defend free speech. But is it true it will impact freedom of expression? No, we put in legal protections in the 19th section. Another thing we're doing to the laws we're passing is tackling online crime and cyber flashing. If companies fail to comply with the law, fail to protect the users that they're responsible for, the regulator Ofcom will have the power to fine. So platforms must keep people safe online.
Oh.
You know what? Between sort of this video, Grant Shapps' green screen and Michael Goves' silly voices, you can see how they got through a suitcase of wine a week.
I think she was great. I think she should release a single. I thought it was good. You're actually friends with her.
Yeah, I think she's going to be single after making that, actually. Yeah.
Probably.
No,
Scott, you're right. I mean, she's she's white. For white rappers are never any good. If you look at Vanilla Ice, Pam Ayres, they've never really got it, have they? You know? But God bless her. You know, she's trying to show that she's got humanity. Yeah. She's trying to have a laugh. She doesn't have a sense of humour. She doesn't have a soul. So she's got to do something, hasn't she? And I think what she's done is commendable.
Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani was attacked, and this is him describing the attack.
All of a sudden, I felt this tremendous slap on my back or banging on my back. I didn't know what it was.
The 78-year-old says the smack almost knocked him off his feet and was followed by a verbal assault.
They were curse words and kind of threats. He looked either inebriated or under the influence of drugs, and he wouldn't stop.
OK, well, that looks worrying. So I understand that I need to issue a warning for the next video, as we are going to see actual footage of the harrowing attack that left Giuliani fearing for his life. Some viewers may find it upsetting. Dicey stuff.
I mean, clearly, Rudy Giuliani's never been on a night out in Leicester, has he? I mean, he calls that a slap. You would have thought in the age of Will Smith smacking Chris Rock round the face that this man would have a measure of perspective.
Get the thought out of your head that you're sorely missed. You're not. For the past 6 years, you have been acting like lunatics, and you made a big nuisance of yourself. Even before that, your exceptionalism was a constant bother. Nobody misses you. Nobody needs you. And nobody trusts you. That's even worse.
What did catch my eye was a German just speaking in the name of all of Europe. Thinking that's okay, yeah. So I feel like now that the UK has left the EU, what needs to happen is for France and Germany to leave, and then we can have a fair European Union. Nobody in the European Union has ever said, "Woo, the British are coming. We're happy. The Germans are here. Things are going to be better."
We've got a video of a woman who identifies as a cat.
OK, let's take a look.
Teaching you guys some ways that my friends and I meow to one another to communicate when words just seem a little too difficult. So here we go. Then the angry meow, but we only use this one on rare occasions because overall we're a very happy kitten family. Okay, and last but definitely not least is our in heat meow, and we use this when we need a little bit more special kitten attention, if you know what I mean. Meow. Meow.
I normally have to pay expensive phone charges for that kind of action. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, well, now I've got to try and mock her with an erection. In the full video, she's got like all these different meows. She's got a meow for when she wants attention, which I'm guessing is 100% of the time. She's got a meow for dissatisfied, which she better start practicing for 2 years' time when Trump gets back in. Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. We've gone beyond genders now. Now people are identifying as animals. And the worst thing is, so she lives in a house with all these other people who identify as cats, and they all meow to each other. And I don't know, it's just, that means there's men there. And it's just mental the lengths that men will go to debase themselves when there's a chance of getting some. It's just. No, that she's obviously left-wing because she's under the age of 25. I'm saying she as if she's a she. She's obviously not a she. She's got some sort of, cat pronoun.
She's older than that. In cat years, she's at least 60.
The first one has actually been sent to us by a viewer. Let's take a look.
I think it's interesting. Ho Chi Minh and Che Guevara are romantic figures. You can see that. They took on colonial powers and they kicked them out of their country, and then things went bad. But Ho Chi Minh was dead by the end of 1969, I think, or something like that. He wasn't Pol Pot. And Che Guevara was a romantic figure, definitely, the world's best-selling T-shirt. It's a bit dodgy. It's a bit dodgy to stick Stalin on the end there, isn't it? Because the results are in on Stalin. 30 million dead, and you kind of think you've got to kind of factor that in when you. If I was to march down Brighton High Street shouting, "Hey, Adolf Hitler!" there would be some kind of kickback against that, I would imagine.
I'm a recruiter. It's a small industry, smaller than you'd think. Same with HR. So, if you're looking for a job, or maybe trying to keep a job, maybe, just maybe, think about what you're putting on social media. Recruiters are watching, HR is watching, everywhere, and we hate you. We hate you so much. And you think we can't do anything, but we can. We have the power. Always remember that.
You didn't realise, did you, that Hannibal Lecter started in HR? But it's psychotic. It's not just. It's dead behind the eyes. It's zombie level.
Dead behind the eyes that are pointing in different directions. I've got that. That's like that monster in Star Wars who says it's a trap.
It doesn't even cover passive-aggressive. Can you imagine the laminations that woman has put round the office? You wouldn't be able to get close to the sink to leave a single cup in it, because there'll just be laminations everywhere of her face with all the individual words. Don't leave your cup in the sink. I will kill you.
It's almost like there needs to be a department you can report her to.
We are GB News.
And we'd like to say thank you
To each and every one of you
for helping our great nation
Find its voice.
We're absolutely everywhere.
Across England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland.
On TV.
On radio and online.
We're proud to be the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
On the Mark Steyn Show, we cover the stories a lot of people are scared even to mention. The stuff that really matters with some of the world's biggest thinkers.
Now is his opportunity to kind of take the steering wheel of history.
Break away from the flop at 8 o'clock on GB News with the Mark Steyn Show.
Hello, I'm Esther McVeigh.
And I'm Philip Davis.
Whether you're watching or listening on TV, online or on radio, we handpick the latest stories, debates and expert opinions for your weekend. So whether that's politics, news or showbiz, we've got it covered.
Join us every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock on GB News.
Join my show Farage, 7 p.m. till 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and there you will get opinion, analysis, debate, and I'll cover stories that nobody else dares to touch. You've been cancelled. Join the club.
Oh my goodness me.
And then for the last 15 minutes, talking pints. We're over a drink. We have a civilised conversation with someone. We very often disagree, but we do it in a grown-up way. Come and join me on Farage.
Hi there, it's Stephen and Anne.
At breakfast from 6 a.m, you'll always be caught up with everything you need to know, the latest headlines, opinions and debates.
We'll bring you the good news and the bad, but most of all, we're here for you.
Remember, send in your views and let us know what you would like us to talk about.
That's because we're your news channel. And every morning at 6 a.m, it's breakfast on GB News.
Welcome back to Ministry of Offence in a week where it was so hot, even Prince Andrew was sweating. Yes, our first round is clickbait, where we give each of our guests a news story and task them to come up with a headline. In true tabloid style, these headlines need to be funny, punny, or downright sensational. Basically anything that's going to draw you in as clickbait. A man who was searched by customs officers at an Indian airport turned out to have 2 pounds of pure gold hidden up his rectum. Officers had noticed the passenger acting suspiciously and then carried out a cavity search that revealed 790 grams of gold valued at around £43,000. According to airport officials, that contraband was extracted and seized.
Wow.
What can you do with that?
Piles of gold?
Custom officer's golden handshake or something like that.
That's nice. The man with the golden bum.
A man disguised as an old woman threw cake at the Mona Lisa in the Louvre in Paris. The eco-warrior, who arrived in a wheelchair, was armed with a gatto, which he smeared all over the bulletproof glass protecting Da Vinci's masterpiece, in a protest at the destruction of the planet. What can you do with that?
Well, I mean, it's not effective as activism, is it? Like, I can't imagine anyone saying, well, I was sceptical about climate change, but after I saw a disabled transvestite smearing Victoria's sponge on the Mona Lisa, I realised I have to adjust my carbon footprint.
I think he wanted you get closer in the chair, in a little wheelchair, because it's covered in glass, and there's like 80 people in front of you, so they'll let you wheel up. Especially if you have cake that they can share, so you wheel up. Anybody want some cake? Anybody want? Who wants some cake? Who wants some cake? And then she gets right up to the front. It's brilliant, actually.
No, that's how, because it's a trust thing. Yeah. People trust people in wheelchairs. Terrorists should do this.
Yeah.
Like, this is like the way that.
I don't trust people in wheelchairs. I'm right wing. I suspect they're doing it to fiddle the benefits.
Scroungers, aren't they?
Yeah.
What about tranny granny lobs cake at tart?
Do you know what? I'm just glad it wasn't an Extinction Rebellion protest, because then the guy would have glued his hands on the Mona Lisa and then she'd be there like this.
That's why she's smiling.
Yeah. It's really not. And because this is to do with climate change, I'm going to go with Baker mad at planet cooking.
Or just baking bad.
Baking bad.
You know...
What the hell, man? He edited my joke!
Yeah, I didn't do any of the work there. I just sort of latched on your coattails.
In a way, I think that
That's all right. It's happened to women throughout the ages. It's fine. You just carry on.
Well, how do you know I'm not a woman?
Yeah.
You're being really presumptuous.
Kellogg's won't be allowed to promote sugary cereals in supermarket specials because of new restrictions on foods that are high in fat, salt or sugar. The cereal giant tried to argue that its products are healthy because people add milk.
I think a good headline for this would be crunching up bull.
It's like saying cigars are healthy because Jimmy Savile used to add a marathon. So you got to add milk. But nobody eats cereal dry, do they? So they've got a point.
I know a lot of stoners who do that.
I'm a stoner. I add butter.
You have what?
Absolutely, you have to try it. Butter, sometimes I put chocolate in it. I don't always put the cereal. I think they should just sell chicken now. They have the logo already.
UK cinema chain Showcase offered free entry to red-haired people during the worst part of the heatwave. Studies have shown redheads are more sensitive to the sun than others, so Showcase stepped in to offer free tickets to air-conditioned auditoriums. Any ideas on how you'd sell this story?
Well, may I just say, I never heard about this story. I am
an email subscriber to Redhead UK. The Redhead Alliance didn't contact us. Even our covered meeting that we have in the bottom of Tiger Tiger, nobody brought this up.
Don't you feel like it's a bit patronising? Because this feels to me discriminatory, because I kind of feel that gingerhead people should be treated the same as normal people.
No, we shouldn't.
What about albinos scream, what about us?
Sun screening for ginger kids.
But I thought we already had this before. It was Orange Wednesdays. I thought they already
ITV is reportedly set to launch a new version of Love Island for middle-aged people in their 40s and 50s with normal bodies.
Love Handle Island. And one more, there goes my erection.
Instead of Love Island, You'll Do Island.
An Australian restaurant, which is famous for being intentionally rude to its customers, has been forced to apologise after going too far. A waiter at Karen's Diner in Brisbane called a father who was dining with his family a pedo and asked if his 14-year-old daughter had an OnlyFans account. Thoughts on that one?
So it's a restaurant where you go to get offended by staff who treat you badly. It's currently the chain is being sued by all the restaurants in France for cultural appropriation.
I've got Leo Curse fired from waiter job.
The waiter also pretended to masturbate over the table, though, so I thought first come, first served would be quite a good idea.
Thoughts over here?
You've had Pizza Hut. Try Pedo Hut.
And it's time for our next round, Mass Debate. Our teams have differing views, which is the whole point of this show, making sure we are entirely neutral and unbiased, so we can respectfully give a voice to different opinions, specifically the right's utterly crackpot ones. The right, you're up first. Who will you be spinning this week?
We're going to do Mr. Neil Parish, I believe.
OK, well, let's remind ourselves of this story.
Funnily enough, it was tractors I was looking at, and so I did get into another website that had a sort of very similar name, and I watched it for a bit, which I shouldn't have done. But my biggest crime, is that on another occasion I went in a second time.
And that was deliberately?
And that was deliberate.
Well, good luck. Take it away.
Well, clearly a great man. So Neil Parish, as you probably know, was caught watching porn in the House of Commons, right? I don't mean that he was staring at Angela Rayner's legs. He was looking at actual porn, but we've all been there, right? Not literally in the House of Commons, but we've all watched porn. At least all men have watched porn, in my opinion, right? That's what I thought anyway. Then my friend said to me, she goes, oh, well, my husband's never watched porn. I do respect that. It takes discipline, doesn't it, to just lie to your wife every day. I mean, takes balls out, doesn't it? Empty balls. But anyway... Of course, the problem with porn is that after a while, it gets boring, and you've got to move on to, like, increasing levels of depravity, right? So I've been told by Leo. But that's the problem with porn. So you start off with something quite generic, like sexy maid, and then inevitably you end up with tractors. And it's totally normal. And so I want to defend Neil, because Suella Braverman, the Attorney General, looked at this story and she said MPs are behaving like animals, which is totally unfair. For a start, animals don't watch porn, all right? They occasionally star in it, but they never watch it. And so I think that's very, very harsh. And also, people are going to blame Tories because it happens to be a Tory MP, but we all know it's just like with lockdowns. Labour would have done the exact same. Starmer would have called for even harder porn, OK? That's what I'm trying to say. And ultimately, I think there's no way Neil Parish should have had to leave his job, because watching porn is just natural for men. It's like worrying about hair loss or understanding movie plots. It's who we are, OK? So that's my defence of Neil Parish, a great man. Thank you. Yeah.
And now it's over to the red team. Diane, your team will be spinning Labour leader Keir Starmer and the accusation that he's boring voters to death. Let's have a little look at Keir trying to rustle up a personality.
These aren't the droids you're looking for. No rules were broken. The economy is booming. The problem is, the Force just isn't with him anymore. He thinks he's Obi-Wan Kenobi. The truth is he's Jabba the Hutt. He thinks he's on Love Island. Trouble is, Prime Minister, I'm reliably informed that contestants that give the public the ick get booted out.
Yeah.
Off you go, Diane and Josh.
OK, so he wears the same navy blue jacket, white shirt and plum tie every single week. He's like a cartoon character. But he's predictable. Isn't that nice? Wouldn't it be nice if during this time when Russia has invaded Ukraine, something we never thought would happen, cost of living crisis, never thought would happen, coronavirus pandemic, never thought would happen, wouldn't it be amazing if we had just one boring, stable, solid, beige guy just trying to get us through it all? I don't know when, as a nation, we became so used to abuse, we became so used to lies, we became so used to going, what have they done now? Well, I say, don't be addicted to drama anymore. Be addicted to boring. Sir Keir, boring.
So, Leo, you'll be defending Stella Creasy, saying that women can have penises. Let's have a reminder of this story.
Stella Creasy, the Labour MP, said in an interview with Telegraph yesterday, "Do I think that women were born with penises? Yes."
Spin away.
Well, of course a woman can have a penis. Women love accessorising. And also, it's a really useful way to define the acceptable length of a skirt. Isn't it?
I think it's great to see Stella Creasy standing up for women like me. And I don't understand the complaints from men. I mean, finally, a clitoris you can find. No, I've got massive respect for anybody who transitions. You know, I mean, if you go through all that pain, that hassle, that social stigma, that cost of transitioning, you know, you've got every right to be that gender. If you go through all that, you know, absolutely fair play to you. You deserve that gender. But, you know, as long as you're not then, you know, smashing women's weightlifting records with your penis clearly visible through the lycra. You know, I think there are some lines we could draw. So, yeah, I'm not a penis absolutist. You know, I think...
Protesters gathered outside Disney World in Florida unhappy with Disney's opposition to the controversial so-called Don't Say Gay law. Disney's CEO has said he'll fight the bill, while Republican Governor Ron DeSantis has revoked Disney's special tax status and slammed Disney for being too woke. OK, off you go, Diane.
Disney has always been about celebrating different kinds of love. Even from the very beginning, you know, you have the very simple ones, you know, man loves woman in coma. Woman loves beast. Fish loves man. And now we've even moved on to snowball generating lesbian loves no one.
You know, I've got to say, as a gay man, that I liked it better when it was illegal. All this, all the support garbage takes away the frisson, if you know what I mean. This and Disney, you've made it into a musical now. It's no fun anymore. God.
We are GB News.
And we'd like to say thank you
To each and every one of you.
for helping our great nation.
Find its voice.
We're absolutely everywhere.
Across England, Scotland,
Wales and Northern Ireland.
On TV.
on radio.
And online.
We're proud to be
The People's Channel. Britain's
News channel.
On the Mark Steyn Show, we cover the stories a lot of people are scared even to mention. The stuff that really matters with some of the world's biggest thinkers.
Now is his opportunity to kind of take the steering wheel of history.
Break away from the flock at 8 o'clock on GB News with the Mark Steyn Show.
Hello, I'm Esther McVeigh.
And I'm Philip Davis.
Whether you're watching or listening on TV, online or on radio, we handpick the latest stories, debates and expert opinions for your weekend. So whether that's politics, news or showbiz, we've got it covered.
Join us every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock on GB News.
Join my show Farage, 7 p.m. till 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and there you will get opinion, analysis, debate, and I'll cover stories that nobody else dares to touch. You've been cancelled. Join the club.
Oh my goodness me.
And then for the last 15 minutes, talking pints. We're over a drink. We have a civilised conversation with someone. We very often disagree, but we do it in a grown-up way. Come and join me on Farage.
Hi there, it's Stephen and Anne.
At breakfast from 6 a.m, you'll always be caught up with everything you need to know, the latest headlines, opinions and debates.
We'll bring you the good news and the bad, but most of all, we're here for you.
Remember, send in your views and let us know what you would like us to talk about.
That's because we're your news channel. And every morning at 6 a.m, it's breakfast on GB News.
On Mark Dolan tonight, in my big opinion, this budget is annoying all of the right people. We don't just have a brand new Prime Minister, we've got a brand new government, and I'm loving it. A growing economy lifts everyone. My Mark Meets guest is talented X Factor singer Katie Waisel, and on my all-star panel, we've got former government minister under Margaret Thatcher, Edwina Currie. Plus, the EU chief Ursula von der Leyen says that they've got the tools with which to deal with Italy if they choose the wrong government. Thank God we're out. I'll see you at 9.
Welcome back to Ministry of Offence, where this week petrol prices are rising so quickly that during this recording it became too expensive for any of our panellists to drive home. Let's move on to the next round, which is Lie Detector. Our teams are shown some newspaper stories from this week. They must decide which parts of each story are true and which are false. Fingers on buzzers for this one. Businesses in Sheerness-on-Sea have removed Union Jack bunting put up by local council, saying it was clearly promoting fascism. One local said, "It feels like we're living in Nazi Germany all over again. Not Sheerness, and that's the last thing you want during the Queen's Jubilee." What are the lies in there?
I think someone from Sheerness-on-Sea wouldn't say it's like living in Nazi Germany, because living in Nazi Germany would be a great improvement to living in Sheerness-on-Sea. Fascism isn't the Union Jack or voting Tory or reading the Daily Mail. It's the KKK, Combat 18, Mumsnet. You know, that's what this... It's got to mean something. The word has to mean something.
I mean, I do try to be good, but there were some things about Hitler's Germany that, well, you know... No, I want to be good, like the British were in the war, but I want to look good while doing it. And the Allied uniforms were so boring, but Hugo Boss designed the Nazi uniforms and...
Well, I can tell you, no one's got it right. The correct answer is that the Union Jack bunting was flapping in the wind, making it too noisy for them. Yeah.
Oh.
The last time I was offended by Union Jack flaps was when Ginger Spice bent over to tie shoelaces. Here comes our next lie-laden story. Scientists are planning to get rid of Britain's grey squirrels by introducing specially trained birds of prey to kill them. The aim is to eradicate the squirrels, which destroy trees and have pushed native red squirrels onto the brink of extinction in the UK.
Yes, this is a lie. I don't believe this country would do anything serious to tackle immigration.
Are they giving the squirrels really tiny little condoms?
It's so close that I think you might have to get the points for that.
Yeah. They're giving them contraceptive pills, but really tiny ones, squirrel size.
Is the correct answer. I can tell you that what the scientists are doing is they're getting rid of Britain's grey squirrels by luring them into boxes containing pots of hazelnut spread laced with contraceptives. Sharks are apparently going through a major mental health crisis. Great whites and tiger sharks are showing signs of depression because conservation efforts mean getting food is no longer posing a challenge for them. What's the line there?
I think it's a lie that the great whites are going through a mental health crisis. Some of the other sharks might be. They're the best shark. Why would the best shark's not going to be depressed?
Yes.
I tell you who does have a mental health issue, hammerhead sharks. Imagine being a hammerhead shark, how bullied you would get for looking like that. All the other sharks just swimming up looking like a normal shark variation, and then suddenly you come here with your eyes like out here like that. Like, oh, hi guys, like, oh, even the name taking the piss out of the shark, like tiger shark, great hammerhead. Like, why are you, come on, you know that's the thing I'm self-conscious about that. You put it in my actual name. Just call me a shark, you know.
Kanye West announced a surprising new career move while making his Insta comeback. The rapper appears to be redesigning the MAGA hat. Kanye posted an image of the new crisp and clean design and captioned the photo, "You teams up with legendary Emoji designer to redesign this classic headwear."
First, that's not you, that's yay. That was the most white thing you've ever done.
It's not the most white thing I've ever done, but
it's up there. And also, Kanye has moved on from the MAGA thing ages ago. That's the obvious lie. The hat probably just said something like Pete Davidson's a dickhead or something, or Kim, where are my kids? One of those. The kids get that.
Muji is actually a Japanese designer who makes very sleek and crisp lines, whereas all of Kanye's clothing is somewhat sort of graffiti, splattershod. So I would say actually the designer's wrong. He would much more be suited to someone like Gucci or Dolce & Gabbana, but they're currently working with the Kardashians, so that's probably not on the table.
I am so behind on this story. I didn't know
Yes, he's redesigning the McDonald's packaging.
Is the correct answer.
How'd you guess that?
Yes, unbelievably, he appears to be redesigning the packaging for McDonald's. It's hardly the first celebrity to work with a restaurant chain. We all remember when Nando's got that sauce recipe done by Matthew Perry Perry. Yes, this is Anti-Social Media, in which we take a look at online reactions to various world events and then ask our teams to guess who said what about whom. Blank Blank is a powerful man. He also seems like a homophobe, if you ask me, if this is what he counts as comedy.
Is it Andrew? It's Andrew.
It's got to be Andrew, because he labelled himself homophobic earlier. And
he doesn't like you. So
yeah, right.
And also, Andrew with his Latin and his big brain, and he's written books, so he's a powerful man, he has his own show. Yeah, I think it could be Andrew.
Yeah.
And I've heard what he does to men, and I think it is quite homophobic.
Yeah, it is. I think you're the homophobe.
But you're quite homophobic. You have internalised homophobia.
Only certain times of the day.
Yeah. Well, my husband's very homophobic. He's Brazilian, only about 10% gay, but oh, that 10%. And you know, I don't mind gay people. I just wish they'd, you know, shut their mouth sometimes. But other than that, I'm on their side.
It would appear Blank Blank has dropped her husband in 1,000 litres of 219.969152 imperial gallons.
It'll be Amber Heard.
Oh, right.
Amber Heard, because she also provides the
Right, because she does. Yeah.
Are you helping that side of it?
1,000 litres, though, that's an angry woman. 1,000 litres, that's intense.
It's not the right answer. Do you want we can open it up to this team for a guess?
I think it's Carrie Johnson.
It's got to be Carrie Johnson, because anyway, go ahead.
I just said the answer, Scott.
No.
If you knew,
I get the point.
You guys are being homophobic. I said earlier, couldn't this be Boris Johnson's wife? Because are they having problems with the not touching
You raised
thing?
it as a question. You didn't present it as an answer.
I thought we were asking questions.
I said it as an answer, and then you stole my answer.
Why are you so angry at me? Look, okay, you can have it. I'll give it to you. I'm gracing you that win. Because you guys, no, you're so far behind. You can have that point.
You know what,
you Tory scum.
I don't want it anymore.
No, you know what? Take it. I don't want it either.
I'll have it.
All right.
Is it Carrie Johnson?
Is the correct answer. GB News, can you give me pre-warning when this idiot blank is on so I can switch off?
That could be any of us.
I mean, I only get universal praise on Twitter.
It's going to be about one of us two.
So it'll be about you. Okay.
It's going to be a lefty thing.
I think it's Josh. I think it's Josh.
I think it's Dan, purely because Josh doesn't fit in the box and Dan does.
What are you saying?
That's the kind of clever thinking.
And that's also how I run my Undertakers.
Well, let's see if you're right.
Bit in your own coffin there.
Blank is about as funny as a hedgehog lodged up your arse.
This is well, first of all, this better not be about me.
Well, also, that's quite funny, isn't it?
Well, I think it's funnier if the hedgehog has still got his little face poking out. So the hedgehog is like, oh my God, what's going on? And you're like, dude, there's a hedgehog in your backside. And the hedgehog is like, help me. like, that's funny. I think if the hedgehog is facing, that's just abuse.
But it'd be very hard to shove a hedgehog up in that direction with the face still pointing out.
Oh, yeah, because the spikes point...
I can't believe we're talking about the logistics of this. I'm going to say Josh Howie. I'm going to say Josh Howie.
I like how they've written arse like it's an American rapper.
I'm not going to go with you.
Because that would be cruel if the producers did do 2 tweets.
About you.
About me.
Right.
That would
That's
be...
not. Yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't be that cruel. Shall we find out? Let's have a look.
I'm going off Twitter. I'm getting off Twitter.
OK, here's your next one. A headliners with blank and blank is like the new late-night black and white Open University programme on BBC Two.
This is definitely not me because I am thick. So it's it's the smart peeps.
Or the very old peeps, if he's going for black and white.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who is smart and old?
I don't remember seeing this, and I comb the GBNews Twitter feed for even the slightest tidbit of affection or even being noticed.
But maybe you don't remember it because, as Josh said, you're old.
I am old.
Find out. Anyone? Other ideas?
Steve, you
have a degree in chemistry.
Yeah. It's pretty smart.
Yeah, so it's going to be Steve and Simon.
OK.
Let's see if you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's me and Simon. Now, last week, someone suggested that Josh was as funny as a hedgehog stuffed up your ass. Well, it turns out the author of that tweet was watching and posted this update. I'm watching the Ministry of Offence on YouTube as I'm in Florida, and I just saw a tweet I made ages ago about you, Josh, re hedgehog. But it was an old tweet, and you've really grown on me, so I'm sorry. And then some smiley various faces.
Emojis that represent having a hedgehog up your ass.
So I'm not sure whether he's saying he now finds you funnier or he finds hedgehogs more pleasurable.
She's definitely saying that she thinks I'm the funniest person she's ever seen.
Right. Not that she now enjoys a good old hedgehog up the tradesman.
Who doesn't?
The hedgehog.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is really refreshing that somebody came onto Twitter to say something nice and also take back something they had said previously.
I was really looking forward to this round, and they've ruined it.
In our final round, I'll be asking rapid-fire questions based on all of the news this week. Our teams will buzz in and be the fastest to gain the points. How has a woman stopped her landlord from evicting her and her cat?
She married a cat.
She did marry a cat?
What? She did.
I mean, she didn't, did she? Because you can't marry a cat.
I think she's in California, and I think in California, that's the least of their problems. So I think she...
Designers of a face mask for cows have been given an award by Prince Charles, but what does the mask do?
It stopped COVID.
I love the fact that you think masks work. According to lip-reading experts, what did Boris Johnson refer to himself as during the opening of Parliament? I think you should get a point for that. Any other ideas?
Big Willie Bojo.
Who's the big dog? I'm the big dog.
Because he wouldn't say who's the daddy, because he's sick of that question. Apparently the answer was, according to lip-reading experts, he said to Keir Starmer, I am the devil. Who did Prince Harry do acting work for this week?
Ron Weasley?
The stunt double. Nice.
James Hewitt. He acted like they're not related.
It's close, but it's Travelist, a non-profit travel organisation. You can now search for MPs on the parliamentary website by which 3 categories?
Paedophile, sex offender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And drunk.
And drunk, yeah.
Not what we're looking for, but it would be a good one.
I reckon men, women, other.
Male, female and non-binary, you got points. Which famous 93-year-old character will enter the public domain in 2024?
Janet Street Porter.
Anyone else?
Mussolini.
Oh, you're so close.
Is he really close?
Yeah.
Some Walt Disney person?
Yeah.
Walt Disney?
No.
Wait, how did you get...
Mickey Mouse. Or Mussolini. It's
Yeah, I
close.
was going to say, how did you get Walt Disney and Mussolini?
They're both fascists.
Fox News presenter Tucker Carlson has blamed the July the 4th mass shooting on what?
Oh, well, he is an idiot, so it's going to be something ridiculous like, oh, left-handed people who don't make their own custard and they don't cross the road properly by talking to Jesus first. It's going to be something rubbish like that because he's a moron.
It's exactly word for word what I've noticed.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
He's a really smart guy, so I'm thinking, is it going to be drugs, SSRI, antidepressants, and video games?
No, I mean, you're half there with drugs.
Cannabis?
Cannabis is one of the things he's blamed on two things, something and cannabis.
No, women.
Women and cannabis.
Yes.
Are the two things.
Women and cannabis.
Of course, we all know the one thing that can stop a bad guy with women and cannabis is a good guy with women and cannabis. There's no way to do it.
Was women right?
Yeah. Oh. Which multi-millionaire declared they would take a bullet for Putin this week?
Prince Harry.
No.
Is it Ghislaine Maxwell? Because there's no other way she can kill herself in prison.
It's Bernie Ecclestone, and also it sounds like a good swap. Yeah. Also, can we make it happen?
Stephen King recently said he has only ever walked out of one film in his life. What was it?
Kung Fu Panda 3.
No. Great film.
How does he normally leave a film?
Yeah.
Has he got roller skates?
The correct answer is Transformers. What did a bar in Indonesia come under fire for?
Come Under Fire does sound like a Jakarta brothel and curry house.
Oh, and I just pictured it. Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
It was... it offered a free bottle of Gordon's dry gin to men named Mohammed. What new policy has Airbnb introduced onto their platform?
Oh, I think I actually know this. Oh, God.
Yeah, no, if you know it, go for it.
I think it's actually not allowed to film porn there. And it's genuine. It's a genuine thing that they don't want you to film anything in any of the homes. But it started with porn.
I think you've never been allowed... Sorry to break it to you. I don't think you were... never allowed to film porn there. Which beloved children's literary character has been revamped into a horror film?
Johnny Depp.
That remake of Willy Wonka's going to be weird, isn't it?
I know this, it's Winnie the Pooh.
Is the correct answer.
Oh, did you know that Xi Jinping has banned all images of Winnie the Pooh because people compare Xi Jinping to Winnie the Pooh?
Is that because of his face, where he walks around in a red crop top and nothing else?
Next one.
What emoji has been released to commemorate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee?
Is it a flag that says Platty Jube Jubes?
Is it a sheep face because you're all sheep following her to the end of your lives? Is it like that? Is it a little sheep face?
No.
All right.
What a weekend for that answer. Great work. I can tell you it's a crown sporting a corgi named PJ.
Ooh, that's specific.
Isn't it? What did builders unearth in a garden in Herne Hill?
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Nope.
4.89 gallons of cocaine.
Oh, I mean, it looks this conversion to imperial metric.
Actually, drug dealers are the only people keeping the imperial system. They knew it was going to come back. They never stopped. It never stopped being an eighth.
Really? I still buy grams, so...
Grams?
Yeah.
I buy all my drugs from a Victorian ghost.
Jacob Rees-Mogg?
It was two unexploded World War II bombs which were taken to a nearby golf course and detonated because I guess someone hated golfers. What did an article in the Times suggest to boost birth rates in the UK?
More shagging.
Bring back the page 6 girl?
The page 6 girl? I didn't realise there was one. I never
made it that far.
Is it like a page 4? I don't know. I never checked.
You're getting closer.
3?
Yes! Yay!
I'll do it again. Is it the page 3 girl?
It's not what we're looking for, I'm afraid.
They're going to fine people who don't have kids?
Yeah, it's a tax on childless adults. And that means that, sadly, we have reached the end of the show. Congratulations to our winning team, The Right.
Yay! Yeah! That's how it is! Thank you!
Your prize is Harry and Meghan's place on the balcony next to the Queen for the Jubilee. And to the losers, you won't be going away empty-handed. You'll both get to stand next to Prince Andrew. I've been your host, Stephen Allen, and we'll be back same time next week. See you then.
Looking ahead to tomorrow's weather, and the UK's looking chilly but sunny at first, turning cloudier and windier in the far north. Let's take a look at the details. Starting off across Scotland, and by 7 a.m. the cloud will have started to spill in from the north, and winds will strengthen too before a spell of rain arrives later. Whilst it'll be mostly fine across much of Northern Ireland tomorrow morning, there'll be a little showery rain perhaps before turning wetter as we head through the afternoon. Clear skies overnight mean it'll be a chilly start across much of northern England. After a sunny morning, things will turn cloudier here later. It's a similar story across much of Wales, so a chilly but sunny start for many here, the exception being towards the coast where the odd shower's possible with more cloud. A dry and clear start across the Midlands. Here it'll be chilly at first, though probably not cold enough for any frost, warming up in the sunshine as we head through the morning. Some showers are likely across northern parts of Norfolk and perhaps coastal Suffolk too. Further inland, it'll be chilly but sunny for most, so it'll turn warmer. Meanwhile, across much of the south of England, there'll be clear skies, meaning temperatures will be quite low at first, but once the sun comes up, they'll rise fairly quickly. Cloud, rain and strong winds will push into the north through the morning, whilst elsewhere it'll stay sunny for most. And that's how the weather's shaping up during tomorrow morning.
We are GB News.
And we'd like to say thank you
To each and every one of you
for helping our great nation
Find its voice.
We're absolutely everywhere.
across England, Scotland,
Wales and Northern Ireland. On TV.
on radio,
and online.
we're proud to be
The People's Channel.
Britain's
News channel.
On the Mark Steyn Show, we cover the stories a lot of people are scared even to mention. The stuff that really matters with some of the world's biggest thinkers.
Now is his opportunity to kind of take the steering wheel of history.
Break away from the flock at 8 o'clock on GB News with the Mark Steyn Show.
Hello, I'm Esther McVeigh.
And I'm Philip Davis.
Whether you're watching or listening on TV, online or on radio, we handpick the latest stories, debates and expert opinions for your weekend. So whether that's politics, news or showbiz, we've got it covered.
Join us every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock on GB News.
Join my show Farage, 7 p.m. till 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and there you will get opinion, analysis, debate, and I'll cover stories that nobody else dares to touch. You've been cancelled. Join the club.
Oh my goodness me.
And then for the last 15 minutes, talking pints. We're over a drink. We have a civilised conversation with someone. We very often disagree, but we do it in a grown-up way. Come and join me on Farage.
Hi there, it's Stephen and Anne.
At breakfast from 6 a.m, you'll always be caught up with everything you need to know, the latest headlines, opinions and debates.
We'll bring you the good news and the bad, but most of all, we're here for you.
Remember, send in your views and let us know what you would like us to talk about.
That's because we're your news channel. And every morning at 6 a.m, it's breakfast on GB News.
On Mark Dolan tonight, in my big opinion monologue, why this budget is annoying all of the right people. Find out more shortly. My Mark Meets guest is the X Factor singer Katie Wazel, talking fame, fortune and working with Simon Cowell. In my take at 10, EU Commissioner Ursula von der Leyen says there are tools available if Italy elects the wrong kind of government. Thank God we're out. In the big question, with top rock star Adam Levine from Maroon 5 in trouble for flirting with women on social media, we'll be asking, is flirting cheating? We'll speak to a representative of Christian Concern and a porn star. Plus, the papers at 10:30 and my all-star panel tonight of Lynn May,